Now I can get started. But which Fury hero talent do you treat like the best? Slayer. Mountain Thane's like pretty bad. Mountain Thane's like not ideal. Moment doesn't really do damage. All right, let's see. Mastery weapons. And I was saying this earlier, but I have no plans to play tier. I don't think tier is good. I could see maybe 2-piece being decent, but definitely not 4-piece. You have to give up way too much mastery, I think, to use it, and I just don't. I honestly don't even think I'll play tier at all. I think I'd rather just have the versatility. Mastery, only need one mastery ring. Mastery neck. I'll buy the emblem even though I haven't put it on once. If anyone's wondering, basically it's Fury. You're going full mastery, I think. I think some haste is okay. I think crit sucks, like really badly. I already have the mastery boots from crafting them. And put that on the other mastery ring. That and my weapons. Nice. Mastery galore. And ideally, you'd play Frenzy. I think you'd play Frenzied Regen if it works. But at the moment on beta, you don't get the movement speed. So I'm just playing Powerful Enrage. And losing a bit of haste on beta doesn't like bother me at all because you have higher ping. And it's not so much that the ping issue is annoying so much as it is like I think the server tick rates are just higher. It just feels laggy all the time. And I don't remember which of these I needed, but you need one of them, I think. And I think some people like playing the damage reduction gem. I could see doing that versus like sub rogue or having like a different helmet or something. But I like the movement speed. Um, wow, that was annoying, dude. Thank you for that. Anyway, it's all good, bro. I get it. I'd probably do some shit. I'd probably do some shit like that too. But yeah. Um I've been just playing the movement speed gem, which means you have to like swap your gem colors. Like you can't just go all one gem, which is annoying to say the least, but I think movement speed is way better. So me personally, on the Emerald one, where is it? I want the versatility in season 1. I want versatility on like every gem I can get, really. Like I think Fury feels kind of squishy at the moment. So I'll do one of those. I'll do one of those. Sucks that you have to take a crit gem, but I think the movement speed is worth it. Then we'll do verse and mastery. And then there's a stamina verse one as well. That covers that. And then I think the best gem is the masterful one, so I'll just buy like 5 of those or whatever. And just have them sitting there for like the extra ones that aren't unique. There's another one of these, it's called like Cursed. But you lose, yeah, you lose like, something to get it. So what is this? Yeah, I would like the Cursed versatility. I'll probably play Cursed Mastery actually, because I don't mind losing crit to get more mastery. That's like fine with me, you know? Because I don't really care about crit as Fury at all. So I'll probably play double Cursed Mastery, or I might honestly, I'll probably just play double Ring Verse, to be honest. I'll probably just play double Verse, because I would play this one, but I don't want to lose my mastery for it. I don't know what I'll play. I'm still undecided on this. I'll probably just play the versatility. Um, Yo, later, Buzzik. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Always like hearing from old friends. I think this weapon enchants the best one too. The depths one was better, but it got nerfed. Where's the movement speed boots? Nice. Let's see here. Alright, strength chest. I don't think the stamina's worth it. Apparently, warrior tuning just went live 1 minute ago, so I'll probably look at that in a second too. Where's the cloak speed? Alright, got that. What's stat priority? Versatility, mastery, haste, crit. So I'll type it. It's this is what I'm doing. I don't want any crit at all. I want some haste, but if I don't have it, I really don't care in season 1. It's not the end of the world, but I might end up getting a little bit. Like, it depends. Like, at the moment, I just think Verse is so strong. Because honestly, Fury feels kind of squishy sometimes. Like, you really do just get, like, in the casters at least, like in the melee, I don't really feel squishy at all, but in the casters where you like don't have 100% uptime on Enrage, I feel like I get dragged around and absolutely skull fucked, depending on the caster. I don't feel that way as Arms because it has like Ignore Pain and other shit, but as this, I feel like, as Fury at least, I feel like I get just dragged around and kind of fucked with, so. But yeah. Warrior chains are kind of crazy. Alright, I'll look in a sec. I would imagine that Arms is getting Giga buffed because it's really bad. But we'll see what happens. Oh damn, I wish I read Dino's message 10 minutes ago. That would have been helpful. Alright, let's see. Wowhead.com. Let's see what's going on. Wait, so what am I, warrior tuning. Okay. I don't know about anything that means. Aren't they buffed deep wounds dot? I don't know what any of this means, really. They removed a modifier that Arms Warrior had that, but I don't know what this means. And then there's another thing here. They buffed Cleave, they buffed C Smash, they buffed Dreadnought, they buffed Mortal Strike, they buffed Overpower, they buffed Rend, they buffed Skull Splitter, and they buffed Warbreaker. They buffed Execute. They buffed Whirlwind. They buffed Blade Storm. They buffed Bloodthirst. They buffed Odin's. They buffed Onslaught. They buffed Raging Blow. They buffed Rampage. So it seems as though they buffed a lot of your abilities, but removed the baseline aura that buffed things. So, like, if I'm reading it right, which I could be reading it completely wrong, they removed the aura that buffed all of these abilities, and then they buffed specific abilities. So it reads as though, and again, I don't know, some of these will probably be about the same. Some of them will maybe be buffs. Because I don't really know exactly what's going on here. But yeah. There's definitely some tuning going on. They also buffed Blade Storm for Fury, but not Arms. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure how it ends up evening out or working out. At all. Absolutely not a bad song to skip into. Reading my previous message seems basically the same for some of the abilities I checked. Okay. For example, MS is the exact same damage. They removed a 43% aura and buffed MS by 1.43%. Okay, so they removed 43%. And then buffed it by 1.43. Is there a way to quick math this? 2.13 times 1.43. Yeah, so basically, Mortal Strike is the same. Okay. Well, then this is the same too, then, basically, right? So almost nothing really changed? Those arms just the same, they just tuned, they just, like, overpower, for example, right? 1.2332 times 1.43. Yeah, so nothing's different. It always says MS is back to 50%, but it's nerfed in PvP to 25%. I think they're all the exact same. I think these are all the exact same. They just removed these modifiers and then just fixed the abilities so that it's at the exact same. It looks like everything in here is the exact same, except this maybe. Like, Bladestorm number doesn't add up, but the rest of it looks fine. I mean, it's pretty close. Maybe it's like 2% or something. Yeah, small nerf, but it's all right. So basically, nothing changed is what I'm gathering. These changes look like they're just removing all these aura buffs and just tuning the individual abilities themselves to make them what these are supposed to be, is what I'm gathering. They're just removing these aura buffs Looks like Thunderclap got buffed actually. It's cool. That just means Mountain Thane got better. And Arms slightly gets better if Thunderclap got buffed, even though it's like literally nothing. Because it's like 1% of your damage. But yeah, I think everything's just the same actually, except for the Blade Storm. But yeah, it just allows, I think it's just them cleaning things up on their end. They're just changing the values of their stuff. That things aren't giga like weird to read, I guess. Like getting rid of these ore buffs and just cleaning things up. And then they're just zeroing out their ore buffs so they don't have to like play around that. So it's like easier to tune, I imagine. Demolish only get buff. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I just think that this just makes it easier for them to do. But yeah. Yeah. There's literally no tuning going on though. Alright, oh well. Alright, back to what I was doing. Put some gem slots in these things. The classes get buffs, nerfs. No. It was like some aura change or something. For Retribution aura. Oh, I forgot this add-on's still bugged. But yeah, no, it was like just some aura thing for Retribution aura and something for Evoker Prescience or whatever it's called. I don't even know. Alright. And this thing, by the way, whenever you put this in, it doesn't track on speed because it's movement speed, right? But it works. It makes you run faster. Like if you download a weak ore, you can see how fast you run, right? I'm at 114 running around. I'm gonna put this in. Hasn't changed yet, but each individual like unique thing I put in will increase it. See, 116 for that one. This will be 119. So on and so forth. And I like this more than I like the 5% damage reduction when you get stunned. Because I like running fast and I like having uptime. It's not a Raging Blow nerf, man. They just changed the auras. Unless you meant the one the other day where they nerfed it, then yeah, that was unfortunate, but Fury's still insane. So I was running at 114, now I'm running at 126. And I'm pretty sure you have to like unequip this ring and then re-equip it. Oh no, it just works retroactively. Okay. Yeah, everything's the same, bro. Nice. Alright. And then I get the rest of my move speed from my talents. But yeah, again, if anyone's curious, I'm just going full mastery and full verse. I think you're kind of squishy, so verse is really nice. I'm not really worried about haste at all or crit. Like, I'd like to have some more haste, but not the end of the world. Alright, now let me fix my talents. As if I was going to play an actual arena. Alright, now where is it messed up? There it is. It's the same, there's no buffs. Alright, and also, I think what we'll end up playing is if they fix it is Frenzied Enrage. But right now the movement speed's bugged. You don't actually get the movement speed when you enrage. So I'm just playing Powerful Enrage on beta, but I think that what'll end up happening is you'll probably play Frenzied Enrage once it works. But yeah. Also, something else is off. It looks. Oh. Okay. So I don't like improved Bloodthirst at the moment. I like fresh meat. Just more enrage uptime. It's harder to, it's like sometimes hard to maintain your enrage uptime. And these are the talents I've been playing on beta at least. Let's see if I can fix some things here. This is normally what I've been playing. I don't really care much about Raging Blow modifiers. It does no damage. I don't really care. Like, I take this one just because, whatever. You know, you kind of got to take something, but I don't know. I don't really care. Oh, wait, no, I don't even. Forgot Unhinged for a second. That was awkward. And then sometimes I drop Massacre to just take Wrath and Fury because you don't really need Massacre, but I don't know. Like, I kind of like the Raging Blow reset chance more than Massacre just because sometimes you do run out of globals if you get unlucky. But in general, that's like what I play. And then normally I play something like this, but like I swap Battlefield Commander sometimes, like especially if I'm not playing Zerker Shout, sometimes I swap out a Battlefield Commander and just take like if I need like Disarm, like if I'm fighting like Rogue Mage or some shit, I'll take like Enduring Rage and Disarm. And you'll just get like a ton of Enrage procs and Recklessness procs. And you don't really need Battlefield Commander that much. Like it's nice, but it's not the end of the world. It just depends kinda. Alright, what am I missing? Oh yeah, Slayer. I really wish Relentless Pursuit wasn't nerfed to 90 seconds in PvP, but it just is. Also, this doesn't really matter much. Like Raging Blow is like more consistent, but Bloodthirst hits for like 100k on 6 million HP. It's like kind of bad. Vicious Agility is like really OP. Cooling Cyclone is really OP. Brutal Finish is nerfed by 50% in PvP. Reap the Storm is just like passive shit, but I mean it doesn't really do much. Like I used to think it was good because it applies your overwhelmed stacks or whatever, but you're just spam applying those whenever you're executing anyway. These are Climb for Solo Shuffle, probably DK. DK, I think DK is the best melee at the moment, like as of today, like whatever the day is. I think Unholy DK is the best melee. But yeah, I'm playing one Dust Thread Lining, and I'm playing a Blasphemite to make myself run faster. I could see potentially just not playing a Blasphemite on this, and maybe crafting shoulders as well. Like you could do something like this. I'll show you what I mean. Like you could do uncrafted Blasphemite here and just play a mastery ring, like a crafted ring, without let me click this thing again because it's kind of annoying. Like you could just do something like this. Wow, I'm literally just missing like 4. That's annoying. But what I'm saying though is that you could just do like this ring basically without the Blasphemite and then craft shoulders and get even more mastery. Like you could craft if you wanted to, you could do this. And then put another Dust Thread Lining on here, which is probably what I'll end up doing, to be honest, like once the game comes out. Is I'll probably do something like this. And then I'll play like Dust Thread, and obviously like in PvP, these will scale up to PvP item level. You know? But realistically, this is probably what I'll do. So we're buffed or nerfed, no changes. It's just like changing how like things read and their functions, but it doesn't change anything. Yeah, I'll fix that later. New patch notes say it's nothing new. Basically, what they did. Let me open them again. Let me explain. Alright, so essentially what they did was they made everything, they just made it, there's like these little auras that apply to the things, right? So all of these abilities are buffed by 43% to make them do what they do, right? It's just a passive modifier aura buff, yeah? They basically removed this aura buff, so everything's starting at 0. Just a fresh start at 0. And then they're buffing the abilities by the percent, like 43%, essentially. Because there was an aura buff that had buffed these things by 43%. They removed that. They fresh slated it, started it at 0, and then they just changed these things to make them the same as what they are. So C Smash, for example, right? 2.1417, right? The aura was 43%, so times 1.43, and then you get the exact number that it is. So there's no changes. They just buffed things to make it easier for them to like see. That's all. No, it's not changed anything. The only thing that got buffed is I think Thunderclap is like Mountain Thane Thunderclap is like slightly better. They got a 5% buff as Fury. And I think Bladestorm is like 1 or 2% worse. Scotty, what happened? Nothing, man. All they did was remove the modifiers, the 43% modifier, and then buff the abilities by 43%. So it's literally the same. Why do you say DK is the best melee? I think DK is the best melee. That's why I said DK is the best melee. I think DK is the best melee even if nothing changes for Warrior. Or Unholy is, at least, in my opinion. I think Windwalker looks a lot better, for sure. No, they just removed the modifiers in general Warrior. Like, that's not for PvP. Like, they already removed the PvP modifiers. That's just the modifiers for PvE. They're just cleaning it up so their database says 0. That's all. Let me see. What did Dino say? Something about a crafting tool. His arms struggling. All right, let's see. We are. I need a Radiant Ruby. What the hell? All right, let's see. All right, I think this is like this. I think this is like the best case scenario actually for like everything. We are. Youth of a nation. We are. Let me buy another enchant real quick. Alright, am I missing anything? I'm missing one. Yeah. I think it's the stamina one. Yeah. Combination. And I don't know if there's a girdle thing to make you whatever, but I think this is like biz gear, low key. Like you just max versatility and mastery and just hit insanely hard. I don't think I'll play tier whatsoever. I could see myself maybe playing two-piece, but not really. I don't think so. I don't really want to lose the versatility to play it, at least on Season 1. Season 1 versatility is so OP. Alright. What race? I think Gnome is BIS. I don't think anything else is really good. Like, like as much of a bummer as that is, like I don't think anything else is good at all. Alright, let me fix my mogs before I continue, because I can't stand looking at it right now. Oh yeah, here's the 2.1 enchant if you didn't know. Got it, play human regardless? I mean, if you want to. What is on my character's head? Oh. Alright, nice. Cool. And again, these are the talents I'm playing at the moment. Yo, Mr. Hardy, thank you, bro. I really like the 10% stamina. I like it more than the haste. Although I could see the haste being decent, but I don't know. I like the stamina at the moment. I feel like I'm dying more than I feel like I don't need more damage. I feel like the only issue I have at times is living. Why do you play talent next to execute stacks talent? What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. Why do you play talent next to execute stacks talent? This one? I want the chance to reset. I want the chance to reset my Raging Glow. This? Why do I play Slaughtering Strikes? Because it makes your Rampage do insane damage. It makes every strike do 20% more damage. I don't know. It's a pretty big deal, I think. But yeah. Alright, let me see if I can slot my boys. Nice. Legendary. No, you definitely still press Raging Blow as like your filler. For sure. Let me spec better immunity just so I can put it on my bars. And yeah, also if you're playing Onslaught, you get 3 stacks if you're playing Tenderize, which I do like every game. I really don't ever swap. Like I don't ever swap this side hardly ever. Like, and again, I think once Frenzied Enrage is fixed, you'll probably play Frenzied Enrage, right? At the moment, you don't get the movement speed, and there's just no way 15% haste is better than 15% damage without the move speed. I think the move speed component's nice if you're chasing people around, but at the moment it's bugged, so I'm just playing powerful Enrage. But over here, like I sometimes swap things, right? Like I probably go Zerker Shout sometimes. You know, I'll probably take Shattering Throw instead of Big Roar. Instead of Big Fear, I'll probably take Shattering Throw versus like mages or Holy Paladins. Not really versus Rets. Maybe though. Yeah, I mean, you still have to spec in a Shockwave even though it's only 2 seconds from PvP now, because you can't get down to the rest of your tree without it. Like if you click out of it, you'd have to take like Thunderclap, and Thunderclap costs rage. It doesn't generate rage, it costs it. Like I can't imagine pressing Thunderclap that costs rage. You know? So that's where I'm at. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish you could just choose to not take Shockwave instead, because I really don't even like it. I actually don't like pressing it now that it's nerfed. It just feels like a half stun. Yeah, it's just an annoying micro, but it resets your DR. Like, I wish they, low key, they if they made it like a 1 second stun, AoE stun that's on like its own DR. Like, if they made it like Infernal stun DR or something, right? Then yeah, but I don't know. It's pretty terrible at 2 seconds. Just resets your stun DR, makes it completely terrible, in my opinion. But this is probably how I'd gear my character, to be fair. And yeah. Playing this low haste definitely feels strange, though. I'm not gonna lie. But again, like you'll probably just play the regular enrage. So unhinged over cruelty. What? Yeah, no, 100%. Raging blow doesn't do any damage. And whenever you're blade storming, if you don't have unhinged, because deft experience increases or extends your enrage. So if you blade storm and your enrage is like ending somewhat, right? Like I'll show you, yeah. If you don't have it and you press blade storm like now, your enrage will end and then it'll just do nothing. But where it casts the bloodthirst, one, it has a chance to just enrage you, but it also extends it. See the patch notes? Yeah, nothing changed. But yeah, that's basically like the big deal for it. Like bloodthirst does no damage, right? Like it literally hits for soggy wet dog shit. But so does raging blow. Like look at what raging blow does. It does nothing. Like I had to fucking crit a large one, but it doesn't do any damage really. It's like not much of a deal at all. 20 minutes ago, yeah, nothing changed. Nothing changed. They just changed the auras and then buffed the abilities so that everything is the same still. It's completely fine. Completely fine. Also, let me turn off this personal. I'll leave the personal resource display thing on while I'm like explaining things. But yeah, this thing is giga OP. You basically want a bloodthirst, or you basically want a bladestorm off cooldown with this. Even if you don't have like Thunderous Roar and Odin's, I still think you do it. But to be fair, because it's the same cooldown as Avatar, or not Avatar, Recklessness, you'll pretty much just Recklessness Bladestorm, like off cooldown, and it's good. But yeah, your damage, your rotation is like pretty standard, like still, like compared to what it was. You just bake in Bloodthirst, and the way I do it is I made a weak aura. Or I took a weak aura rather, and I changed it to like show my crit chance of Bloodthirst over my Bloodthirst, right? And because of Blood Craze, like they reworked it, I don't press Bloodthirst unless it's over at least 50% chance to crit, and then I'll press it. But outside of that, I just won't press it at all. Because it's just better to press your Raging Blows to buff your next Rampage. So that's how I do it at least. So I'll do it like that. I'll just keep pressing it until I don't have to. Then I'll Rampage, and then I'll send one. Because I really don't care about it at all. But everything's still about just dumping your rage on Rampage. And obviously, like, you want to use your XP procs as fast as you can get them, because sometimes if your RNG's bad, you'll be cutting it close to, like, CDRing back your Bladestorm. And you really want imminent demise stacks at full before you, like, send it, you know? But also, a good thing to do before, or a good thing, like, to do, or to, like, make a habit, is to try and get decent stacks of your Blood Craze before you Bladestorm, like you notice your Bladestorm's coming up, is to just hold it, because it uses the modifier on your Bloodthirst. Whenever you Bladestorm on your Unhinged, you're gonna do more damage because your Bloodthirst is gonna crit. If you have like a 70% chance to crit a Bloodthirst and you cast 2 of them, with your Blade Storm and it doesn't go off, you're just an unlucky motherfucker, and it is what it is, and you go next. But see, like, you know, I could stack my shit a bit higher. But I'll show you what I mean. Like so now it's at 3. Normally I try to dump a Rampage before I Blade Storm, but yeah. And then it'll just consume it and it crits, and then you just do more damage and you apply bleed. That's nice. Yeah, the only time I'll press it lower if I is if I don't have any Raging Blow stacks or I can't onslaught or like if you can press it if you don't have anything to press. Like if you can't press anything, then press it, right? But outside of that, like obviously if you have nothing to press, just press it. But if you can't, then don't, you know? But I need like a Google Drive. Like I need a text document to like organize my thoughts a bit. I need a little Google Doc to organize how I like to do my damage, or like how I like to, you know, prioritize it a bit. Alright. Maybe 20 is large enough. So did Colossus and Slayer get buffed, or are they counted by aura as well? What do you mean? They're not in the aura thing. Oh. I didn't even see this. I think Spear is in the aura. Yeah, Spear's in an aura. Executes in an aura, slams in an aura, Whirlwind's in an aura, Bladestorm's in an aura, Spear's in an aura, Ravager's in an aura, Roar's in an aura. Reap the Storm looks like it just got buffed. Wait, I wonder if Slayer's is in the aura. It's not listed. Because isn't it a 43% aura? It'd be like in 200 times 1.43. It'd be a slight buff. That's how it worked. But I don't know if it's in the aura. I don't think that it is. I don't see it in there. So it might have just got buffed. It might have just got buffed. I don't know. I don't see it up there. Demolish is in the aura for prot, but for arms, it's not. And 82 more. I'm gonna guess that it's in the aura. 87 more rather. Sorry, I can't talk. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that nothing changed. I'm gonna guess that it's in there, but they just didn't list all 87. Yeah. Alright, so this is how I like to just do basic damage rotation, right? Assuming you're not pressing any cooldowns. Got nerfed? Well, I think it mats out. Well, actually, I think you're right because the Fury. Yeah, I think Slayer Strike got like a 2% nerf or something, right? Because the Fury one was a 50% modifier. It'd be a slight buff for arms and a slight nerf for Fury because Fury was a 50% modifier. Yeah. How do I want to do this? Bloodthirst. Music is too loud? Wait, really? This is how I like to do it, at least. I don't know if this is the right greater than or less than sign. I don't really know, but if you're... I'll just put a plus sign. I'll leave it like... I don't fucking know. I don't remember, bro. But anyway, yeah, this is my spell usage priority in general. Like, this is how I like to do things. Not taking into account Bladestorm, not taking into account Odin's or Bladestorm or Thunderous Roar or anything. No burst, just your general, just your in general damage priority, right? This is what I like. How I like to do it. Now, whenever you start adding in cooldowns, it's a bit different. Onslaught is a bait. Thanks for your input. Onslaught is disgustingly OP. Anyway. If I start to add in cooldowns, like your burst rotation, normally how I open is like this. Assuming you're enraged. Assuming that you're enraged, right? And also, again, to be fair, this is like maybe even a tick if it goes off, but normally I like to Avatar or Recklessness, and then I like to Thunderous Roar. So the initial cast of my Avatar, the Odin's, is buffed because you don't get the damage buff anymore the entire time. You only get the Roar damage buff, the increased damage, while the effect is up, right? So that's why I like to do it that way. So I like to do this. I like to do Recklessness. If these are my cooldowns, right? I like to do Recklessness, Thunderous Roar, and then I Avatar at the same time that I press Thunderous Roar only. Then I press Odin's. Then I press Bladestorm. Wait, what are you guys talking about? Oh yeah, this guy's lost his balls. Either that or he's trolling. And these are how I like do my cooldowns. Right. So this would be like my cooldown rotation. And then this would be like... Why that does that. And this would just be like just my generic priority. Right. And then after you press all of your cooldowns, then your generic priority comes into play, right? So then it'd be your Rampage, your Execute, your Onslaught, your Bloodthirst if you're above 50% crit chance on it, your Raging Blow, your Bloodthirst. But, yeah, that's kind of how I do it. And basically every 45, outside of Avatar, every 45 you can kind of just do this. You can kind of just wreck Roar Odin's Bladestorm. And you really want to send your like Bladestorm as you're getting your Avatar proc from your Odins. So like I'll show you what I mean. Alright, so you want to be like enraged, right? It'll be like this. And then if you send it right, it should, like if you have enough haste at least, because whenever you're playing Frenzied Enrage, you'll have the haste. But the Bladestorm, because the Bladestorm will extend your Enrage from your depth experience, so you won't lose it. How come you Avatared Odin's one after another? Because it doesn't matter. And the reason I do it like that is because I want my Odins to line up with the cooldown of my Thunderous Roar. If you don't send your Odins right after your Avatar, it's not going to line up with your Thunderous Roar. I guess if you weren't overly concerned, like if you're fighting like a frost mage, maybe you're not as concerned with your damage lining up perfectly. Maybe you want to save it for the root break, because whenever you Odin's Fury, if you don't have Avatar up, and that Avatar will break your root. But if you already have Avatar up, it won't break your root. You don't save Bladestorm for CC. Bladestorm is like your highest damage cooldown. Like you can kind of save it for CC, but it's your highest damage button at the moment, to be fair. Bladestorm with Culling Cyclone and full Slayer or the full stacks or whatever is like your highest damage. Like I'll just show you. Like it's disgusting how hard it is. Alright, so there's one stack, right? I need more procs. Nice. There's two. There's three, right? Watch how hard this hits. I'll just get an enrage, right? And I'll try to not hit it on the other dummies. Watch this. $4 million damage from one button press with no modifiers. No Avatar, no Odins. And keep in mind, if I Odins, I'm going to get the Avatar proc for that Bladestorm. So then I'm going to do 20% more damage. And if you're playing Battlefield Commander and you Thunderous Roar, which you should be, right? You're going to wreck Thunderous Roar, Odin's Bladestorm. You're going to get 5% damage from that too. Which if you're not, then it's not the end of the world, but yeah. And that's also not counting Unhinged. And I'm pretty sure Reap the Storm can also proc. Reap the Storm can proc from the Bloodthirst that it casts. So really, I charged and I did 6.8 mil damage. 6.6 something mil damage. Because the Rampage doesn't count. Everything else is just proccing from the Bladestorm. And the autos. So you might I mean, you could safely say 6.5, 6.6, somewhere in there. I don't want to do the exact math. Over 6 million damage from one button press, no Avatar, no modifiers, with 3 stacks. It's insane how hard it hits. So normally I'm using Bladestorm. Like, obviously the best case scenario is that you can Bladestorm and avoid CC and do damage with it at the same time. That's best case scenario, but yeah, it's your largest damage button. But yeah, Slayer Beast of Fury, yeah, by 4. Yeah, also yeah, your Thunderous Roar is gonna, like, because they changed it, you don't only, it used to be I think 15% the entire time from your bleeds. But now it's only whenever it procs, or only whenever the bleed is up itself, will it increase the damage of your Odin. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to, like, I'm just like trying to maximize it in the sense of like, I want a Thunderous Roar before I even press my Avatar, so that the Odin's dot is like ticking for more the entire time. I don't think it increases the initial damage of your Odins though. The initial hit I don't think is buffed. It's only the bleed. If it's coded poorly, it could be different, but that's the way I do it, and the reason I do it that way. But yeah, that's just like my generic damage already, and then my cooldowns. And like as far as PvP talents, like I talked about this a little bit earlier, like you could realistically just play these two the entire time and just never swap out of them. Battlefield Commander is kind of nice, but sometimes like into like Rogue Mage and things, I like to take in like basically versus anything that isn't Shadow Priest or Warlock. I don't take Battle Trance. I pretty much just play Enduring Rage. Like even whenever you get slowed, it can just proc your enrage, and being enraged is just like the biggest damage component of like warrior. Like it's the most important part of Fury Warrior is enduring rage. So you need to maintain like enrage. Like I should probably put that in here. Like you know, there's like the most important thing to be is be enraged. Like that's the most important part, in my opinion. So if you like Reckless this Thunderous Roar and you're about to Avatar, but your Enrage is ending, you need to Rampage or Onslaught to get a new Enrage. Would you weave in a rampage before Bladestorm when bursting? CC wasn't a worry. Yeah, to maintain the enrage. Like, do you mean like so? Like, I'll try and give you an example. Like, if I was like about to do it here or something, and I had like if I could rampage, I'd. It depends on the enrage uptime with your Odins. Like, if your Odins is like about to end or whatever, then and you could press it, I probably would just to extend it. You know, just to have like, because losing like a little bit of damage of your avatar isn't nearly as big of a damage loss as losing your enrage. Like, I'm more concerned about my enrage uptime than I am about losing 1 second of blade storming while I have avatar. Like, enrage is the most important part. One, because of what enrage does, but two, this as well. Like, you just get more damage, right? Like, avatar is 20% damage increase. Enrage with that is like 50 or something, or 55. Like, I think I have like 40% mastery in PvP on top of that. So whatever that is, like, yeah, 40%. So it's like 55% damage increase. Although I don't think it's additive, so it's probably like not exactly that high. But yeah, it's way more important than the avatar. So yeah, like if I was gonna, if like my thing was timing out and I could like get an enrage, like I'm not as concerned about the rage gen so much as I am the enrage uptime. Like, so yeah, I would probably, if I was gonna bladestorm, I'd probably rip a rampage and then just bladestorm. And then obviously it'll like extend it, like whenever it casts your bloodthirst because of deft experience. But yeah, it's again, it's not so much that I'm concerned about the rage gen because you have perma rage as Fury. It's more so that I want to keep my enrage up and I want to keep my slaughterhouse stacks up. So like if I have 12, maybe I'm not as worried about it. But like if I'm stacking them and I do that damage, like I want to have as much of a healing reduction as possible. But yeah, you need to make, well, the thing is whenever you blade storm, it extends it, right? So you don't have to worry about it too bad oftentimes. But it is good to have like a fresh enrage going into the blade storm if you can. But sometimes if you're swapping targets and you haven't really hit that target, fresh meat will proc it for you anyway. So it's not the biggest deal, right? Like if I like swapped this target or something and I haven't like really hit it, the blade storm is gonna cast my bloodthirst from unhinged, and then my deft experience will extend whatever I get. The second one will at least, but you'll also just get a fresh enrage. But that's why I like to play fresh meat instead of improved bloodthirst, because bloodthirst does no damage as is. It's really just for the enrage components of it. Like enrage is like everything. But yeah, I think like you need to be enraged no matter what whenever you're doing these things. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it. But yeah, also like another thing is too is like again, I said this earlier, frenzied enrage is nerfed. Or not nerfed, it's bugged rather. Like you don't get the 10% movement speed right now. At least you didn't the other day. Like you see my movement speed is 124 with the weak ore. I'll swap to it. And unless it's changed, even whenever I get enraged, it'll be 124. So unless they fixed it, it'll stay 124. See, the damage component of frenzied enrage isn't working. Or the movement speed component rather. You're 124 no matter what. You get an enrage, you should be 10% faster, or you're not. It's just bugged. So that's why I'm not playing it. If they fix it, which I would hope they fix it before the game actually releases, I'll probably play Frenzied Enrage more often than I'll play Powerful. I'll probably play Powerful Enrage into melee teams where I don't need to move much. Not even just melee teams, just things where I don't need the movement speed. But into like Hunters, Mages, Druids, I'll probably play the movement speed Enrage. Just seems better. Like movement speed is just like King versus classes where you have to move the whole game. Is this just for arena? I would probably play this in RBG too, to be honest. Maybe I would like, I'd maybe drop like large enraged regen and play like Massacre for RBG or something, just in case like you're just swapping around hitting random things that get low and like BG Blitz or something. It's probably a little bit more friendly. And you probably don't need to be as tanky in RBG because you'll have 2 healers ideally. Or BG Blitz. So I would maybe do that, but outside of that, I would maybe play everything else the same. Maybe I'd play Improved Whirlwind actually. Like maybe I would like drop Wrath and Fury and like go this route. Like I would maybe do this and not worry about this at all, and then just have Meat Cleaver. And I mean, Titanic Rage is probably somewhat okay because it works with Meat Cleaver and RBG. I'm not exactly sure how you'd get. I'd probably drop Frenzy. You can't even. You actually can't get it unless you drop something down here. So I could see dropping Unhinged in RBG because Bloodthirst hits for nothing, and then taking like Titanic Rage. Like if I was gonna play BGs, this is probably what I'd play. This is probably what I'd play. And as far as over here, I don't think I'd change anything. I think I'd play everything the exact same over here, but this is what I'd do if I was gonna play BGs. And I wouldn't be worried about anything. How is Ashen Juggernaut uptime with Slayer? Insane. It's completely insane. It's like if you have like 5 stacks the whole game, unless you get CC'd for like 15 seconds. You pretty much have 5 stacks the whole game. It's very, very, very good. Very, very, very strong. I think there's been games where my crit chance on execute in a shuffle round is like versus like SP obviously is like 80% of the time I'm critting my executes. Yeah, Fury's really fun at the moment. I mean, the rework is just insane. The thing is, this Fury is like arguably the best melee. I think it's like second best behind Unholy DK. Just because Unholy DK is so good in the casters. And you don't even play tier. Like, I'm not even playing tier. And I can like show you what the tier does just in case you're curious. And keep in mind that it's nerfed by 50% in PvP. But like, Bloodthirst does nothing. Increase the damage of your next rampage after you Bloodthirst by 5%. It's pretty bad. And then whenever your Raging Blade resets, it increases the damage of your next Bloodthirst by 5%, stacks up to 2 times. So your Bloodthirst does no damage. If you stack it twice, it can do 10% more damage, and it hits for like 120k on average. So you're gaining 12k damage. It's just pretty bad. For the 1600 token, if the 1600 token still exists, when that comes out, I would imagine you just take legs. Even though you're going to lose some versatility, and I think versatility is really good because legs have mastery on them. And haste mastery is fine. But outside of that, like the helmet's okay because it's haste verse. Shoulders not that ideal. You'd only want to take helmet, chest, or legs because it's the big cost pieces. They're 875 cost pieces. You don't want to buy a 700 cost piece. But this has crit verse, not ideal. This has mastery crit. Mastery's okay, crit not ideal. Haste verse, that's okay. Haste crit, not ideal, especially its big set crit. And haste mastery. So for me personally, I'll probably buy legs. I'll probably buy legs. Because I want the verse, but I want the mastery too, and it's just an 875 cost piece. But yeah, I'll probably buy legs. I'll buy legs or helmet, one of the two. But yeah, maybe I'll take helmet for the 1600 piece just because it has verse, but it's not much verse. Unrealistically, I'll probably like I really like verse, especially for shuffle and threes, but for twos, which I play a lot of twos, and for like BG Blitz and things like that, I don't think I'll need as much verse. For those. So dropping a little bit of verse in those, I think will be fine, and then just having more PvE stats. But for the average player, or for most people, I'd probably say take the helmet for the verse. I think dropping verse is normally like not the best idea. And honestly, like my number of haste is like a little low. Even if Frenzied Regen works, I think I'd probably play the helmet, or maybe I'd just play the haste PvP ring instead of this ring, just to have some haste, like just to make it a little bit more fluid. Like I'd probably try to aim for like maybe like I don't even think so actually. I think it's kind of fine to be fair. Like it's kind of slower and more methodical, but it hits really, really, really hard. So yeah, that's probably what I'd do. If I was gonna, if with the 1600 token, if it's confirmed, I'd probably buy helmet or legs. Most likely legs for me. But yeah. But if the token's confirmed, yeah. This is how, yeah. What am I missing? Is there anything I haven't really talked about? Ones that you're an elite troll. You're no troll. Hmm. Yeah. Let me just do my burst rotation. Kind of how it looks. Like my opener, you know? Like the opener of the game. Because normally you insta-send on warrior. So normally this is how my opener looks. I wreck, onslaught, and then I send the rampage before the the blade storm, and then I blade storm. And that's like how my opening burst looks. And sometimes you get unlucky and you just have to send a bloodthirst even before the crit chance is high. Just to have buttons to press. And I could press execute there, but it's not realistic. Unless it's proc. I'll wait a global to press that. Honestly, I should have maybe onslaughted before I rampage there, but I kind of like the rage gen of onslaught to get me to my next rampage. And now I'm like just sitting on my cooldowns a bit because I want to wait. And then I'm going to do the same thing or a similar thing somewhat. And then hopefully it extends my nice. Honestly, probably what I should have done there is rampage before I blade storm. But I rolled the dice and I got lucky. And now I'm just sitting here because I got unlucky and I don't have anything to press. But it's not the end of the world. And obviously I can just press executes because it's a PvP target dummy, but again, it's like not realistic to do that. And I'm at 3 stacks again, so I really want to blade storm off cooldown, but I don't mind waiting like 10 seconds to do it. Or not 10, but like 3 for my Odins. I could have maybe held on to that sudden death and just waited, but... And honestly, what I should have did there too, I guess it doesn't matter, because you're just Giga overcapped on Rage anyway. Like, you're Giga overcapped on Rage, so it doesn't really matter that you lose a little bit of Rage gen, because you're going to be Blade Storming during your Recklessness anyway, and just getting it all back. But yeah. Look how hard this Blade Storm's going to hit, bro. It's actually insane. Actually nuts. They buff Fury? Nope. I just